Welcome, fellow travelers. I'm SirOwnzington. I'm joining Chibi and Vertek at the Golden Feather. Come on in, grab a seat, and let's share tales of adventure.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Golden Feather Tavern, where your hosts, Chibi and Vertek, discuss ashes of creation and important topics spoken about within the Ashes community. Every week we invite you, the viewer, and special guest to pull up a chair, grab a pint, and join the conversation with us. Today is the 24th of March, 2023, and this week we have SirOwnzington for episode 161, Owning Caravans. And how are you today, SirOwnzington?
I'm having a wonderful day. I'm so happy you guys decided to have me on. I love you guys so much, and I'm super happy to be a part of the stream.
The donkeys.
Yeah.
Talking about the donkeys.
The donkeys.
Right. See, I knew I was going to mess this up. That's somewhere along there, because we had just come up with this thing. We're like, let's do a new thing, all right? And I knew it was going to go a little awkward somewhere. I just didn't know where.
I thought it was going to be the full new thing, not like a partial new thing.
Oh,
hey,
yeah, I didn't.
He's loving it.
Yeah, we're gonna have another addition to a new intro type stuff next week. This week I couldn't get everything. I had a work thing, just to give everyone a quick warning. I had a work thing come up right before the podcast started. I had to take care of. I still need to keep an eye on what's going on with it. At some point you might see my face disappear. If you do, that's a sign that Chibi is going to take over the show until I can finish addressing the work thing. So
yeah,
just so you know, that might happen.
You know, chat, what I need to do is I need to get a gif of Vertek just sitting there, just kind of like nodding,
Dancing,
and then like occasionally taking a sip of mead, and then we'll just replace that whenever Vertek has to step away.
It'll be a little bit. People will be like, hold on a second. Animation?
Yeah.
That is not the same VTube that was there before. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute, something's not quite right here.
Yeah, anybody want to make an animation for us? That'd be great. Just me over there doing random awkward dance moves and occasionally taking a swig of mead.
Add a chatbot GPT with TTS to replace him. Oh no.
Oh, that's fantastic.
There's an answer for everything, no matter what I throw at him.
Yeah, I know, right? This guy's intelligent and sometimes very weirdly off of the answer.
Very vague and somewhat political, but you know, like I have to agree with him because he's not wrong.
There is a word and random idea wizard. These things just come out of nowhere, like thin air.
Indeed. So today with SirOwnzington, we are going to be covering Caravans and PvP, Unreal Engine, and just some other community topics. So, and then, also, of course, if you guys didn't notice, I just want to give a shout out to Undead Pally, who was featured today on Ashes of Creation's Twitter for his Pyrrhate Archer. So, we'll show that off again later. Yeah, absolutely. But first, all about our bard this week, Ownzington.
Yeah, today's traveling bard, SirOwnzington. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I am but a humble dad gamer. I've got a family now, but my roots were not so dad and family oriented. No. I would be out with my friends, you know, kind of backing up a little bit for the origin story here. Out with my friends in Arkansas, 3rd grade. We're having a ton of fun playing outside. It's kind of hard to believe I ever did that. But
outside? What's that?
But we did head inside, and he showed me this game on his computer. It was Warcraft 2. And all the Zugzugs, all the peons, you know, getting their stuff done. I was locked, right? So I was completely locked. And from that point on, I was a gamer. And it's kind of funny because we didn't own a PC. We didn't have like all the technologies. My mom was like a hiker, or like her medicine for everything was a rake in your hand and a little hard work outside, and just walk it off kind of a deal, which is great. I love that part of it. but my heart was completely in gaming. We would go over to my aunt's house for just to have like pool parties, stuff like that. And I was completely infatuated with Ultima Online. And I printed off the entire Ultima Online bestiary and as many stories as I could find from Xavier, the famed murderer, who would go around just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And that was that was my early childhood like gaming experience. You know, reading all these stories off of printed off paper. I'm surprised my aunt's printer could hold so much ink. So
That's
fast
fantastic.
forward now. I've got at the time 4-year-old I taught Minecraft to, and she picked it up in like a week. I had to get her out of some holes and stuff, but she's doing crazy with all kinds of gaming, teaching me stuff on Minecraft, which I had no idea about some of the things. And my family's loving gaming too, so I've kind of built an empire. It's only a matter of time before I convince them to grind stuff for me.
Yeah,
There you
fair.
go. There you go. Do you do your chores? How much money you make me?
Yep, exactly. No, you didn't reach that 100 gold cap.
Hard.
I'm not gonna add Minecraft onto your tablet this week. Sorry.
You know what I thought would be funny as a gamer family is like, oh, you don't want to do your chore? All right, you owe me 3k gold. Hand it over. I'll do your chore for 3k gold.
See, that's big thinking.
Like you can either pay me in real life. I'll do the math. I'll figure out how much that would be IRL money, or you can pay me in-game money because you seem to play a lot. So it's your choice, but you're paying me for my services.
There you go.
Yes, Wizzy. Yeah. Nobody take Wizzy seriously. I do not child labor my kids out for grinding me gold and everything, because I know that might be a thing somewhere. So.
Oh man, yeah. Just to clarify.
Yeah, serious gamers around here though.
I just
I love it.
was it guest? Yeah, let me just shout out our guest.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
so,
make sure you guys reach out on all my socials. Don't just do 2 of them. I know I'm in chat on Twitch. You know, I know you guys see me in Discord. Make sure you reach out to the other 2 as well. It'll benefit both of us.
keep your gold for vote, no refunds. Yeah, definitely check out that YouTube channel. That's for serious, and has only serious content.
We're all business.
I love it. I want to know if somebody's going to go look up that as like, I mean, I think that's too long for a YouTube name, but it would be funny if that was a YouTube name.
Actually, it would.
So
Boy.
I kind of want to start us off with your own post on the Reddit.
Okay.
With will caravans be easy to kill? And since you wrote it, I'll let you introduce this.
Okay, so I wanted to I know we don't have the full sketch of everything. You know, we have the basic rules. We have everything that we pretty much know how it's kind of going to work, but we haven't hammered out the fine details. So I wanted to put the ball in the community's court, you know, Reddit in this example, and find out, would there be a bunch of people on Reddit who would be able to help me kill a caravan if I couldn't do it solo? And so I love the responses. They were split right down the middle. And a lot of our community is super based because they're like, Ownzington, we don't have enough information right now. You know, we'll know later. But the other half were like, gave a lot of feedback on it and a lot of cool ideas too. So I'm loving it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so some of my favorite comments back, because like my whole position here is, one, I'm out to take your stuff. A lot of people don't like that, especially the ones who are grinding hard for it. You know, how long are we going to spend time on caravans? Or did you just spend 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours grinding for your caravan? You know, you have a lot of time invested in it, a lot of work. And if a huge portion of that is getting taken away, is that going to be worth it? So that's where the balance and how how Intrepid and how Steven works these things out, I really feel like it's going to be huge, and it's going to be something that I'll be really invested in, because I, as a profession or as a gatherer, I'm really looking at taming as like something I want to go like full head into. So one of the first comments, more popular ones, he said, if you know the right people, you're going to be taking all the good stuffs. So, of course, we know that large group overpowering a small number. We're starting off like, yeah, you probably won't be able to 1v1 it, but hey, bro, come on to this group and we'll get stuff done.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I really love about your post, though? Is you start off by saying, do I take the path of the grinder of goods, or do I try and take the bandit path to feed my crafting glory? To imply, are you going to be making stuff, or are you going to be robbing the caravan, right? But at the end, you're like, can I count on this community to help me kill caravans?
My roots, Xavier from Ultima Online, he taught me a lot, about the passion, behind everything. You can't just kill needlessly. You got to have a passion behind it. You got to have a focus behind it. And so if I can bolster my crafting career, you're like, yeah, we're only going to be mastering probably one of the main things that we can do, gathering, processing, crafting. What if you can bypass the whole having to buy your stuff or having to have someone else, gather it for you, when you can just kind of pluck it right off the caravan?
It's like delivery service with a little bit of extra effort.
Yep.
Yeah. Touche. Good point.
So, can you be a crafter and a caravan, lifter? Interesting build, I'd say.
I gotta say, during testing, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna protect and try to slay caravan 12.
I'm 15. Just saying, if you do attack successfully a caravan, that's easy pickings right there. So
yeah, my main question was, can I do it solo, and how many people are going to be on my side? So moving down into the other comments, a lot of people were pretty much saying, is it going to be worth it if the success rate is low? No, they're saying it's not going to be worth it. So I was like, okay, well, what success rate is something that would be acceptable to you? Are you happy with a 50% success rate? Are you happy with 75% of your trips? You're making it successfully. At what point would you say, all right, I got to draw the line. This has got to be the end of it?
Honestly, for me, I would not find it worth it if I didn't feel confident that I could either take over the caravan or defend the caravan, depending on which side I'm on. So if it looks like the opposition is too strong, I would be like, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm good. I don't want any part with that. But I think it also depends on how stable am I, or how cemented am I in my class abilities. Because if I know what I'm doing with my classes pretty well, like all my skill sets, then I might feel a bit more confident than just worrying about my gear alone. But if it looks like other people have like stronger gear, I'd be like, yeah, they're probably better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun balance, because you also got to figure when it comes to caravans, it can't be too difficult to run caravans, but it also can't be too difficult to take them down as a bandit. It has to be a very fine balance, or else bandits will never attack caravans, which may seem great to the caravan people, but then, those who make successful caravan runs with an environment where there are bandits, the prices of their goods that survive will go up.
Yeah,
if every caravan makes it, prices will stay low.
Maybe that far off distant node is getting a steady supply of some very rare goods. That supply starts ending up being kind of scarce. They're gonna be like, oh man, we were making a huge profit off of this. Which kind of leads us into the next thing here: groups filling in one caravan in a half hour. So we're talking about like 8 or so people all filling up that one caravan, which is about the same as filling up a donkey, right? And so what happens? My next question was, okay, so yeah, we're gonna group up and get stuff done, power and numbers. But what happens when those resources start growing a little bit more scarce? I know we can launch from a freehold, I think, maybe. So you can do a little bit of base juggle there, but when the resources grow scarce, how far are we going to travel to kind of make up for those numbers that we were losing?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I love Wizzy's approach there. I'm going to hit W and go in all alone. I expect to be level -10 for the first year.
And I responded to Undead Pally, who said, wait, can you upgrade your caravan? Or is it always going to be X level kind of deal? And I was essentially saying, if you can upgrade your ship, then I think you should be able to upgrade your caravan. Because I think they're supposed to be around the same type of system, just one's on the water and the other's on land.
Yeah.
So
because there's going to be like 2 different types of caravans, right? The ones that are automatically run by the cities, and then the one that's
I think so, but I could also imagine being able to armor your caravan a little bit better, like getting more iron and things like that to kind of make the armor of the caravan thicker to make it harder to attack. I imagine
faster beasts of burden.
Yeah, faster beasts of burden.
And if you're able to do those things, maybe you can pull off a solo caravan run. Also with Wizzy, there's a comment just for you too. One guy said, he said one would be foolish to go alone. He's calling you foolish, Wizzy, but you know what? Me and you, we laugh in the face of danger.
I did see another post on caravans, but it was a lot less interesting, so I just kind of skipped it. I think they're just not knowing about caravans in general, so I was like, eh. But we've been talking a lot about I saw you playing at Hogwarts in spells, and
you saw me on Discord?
Yeah, I saw you on Discord. It shows your game, what you're playing. That's why I asked you how you liked Hogwarts.
Yeah,
I saw that and I was like, oh, I was wanting to play that. How are you enjoying it?
I love that. I was watching I saw you listen to some music. I was like, oh, I wanted to check that out. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm happy to share my music. I'm usually listening to lo-fi. I'll talk about it later, but I've been trying to do some stuff on my own channel. So, but this is from Rampant Staff. There we go. It's sometimes hard to break up people's usernames. But they were talking about high risk, high reward spells. And they put, since more or less AOC is based around high risk, high reward, would you guys like to see some spells that work on the same principle? For example, your damage is increased for X period of time, but your HP is also drained every X amount of time. Or cast one big heal, but then make target party takes X amount of reduced healing from all sources. Another example is some sort of immunities that make you immune to certain types of damage, but make you take increased damage from other sources. And finally, CC immunities that leave you unable to attack, or health swaps, big damage spells that damage your equipment, etc. And they finish it off with, I think it would greatly improve combat depth and outplay potential, and that big cooldowns could really bring more towards identity of archetype and classes. So what are your thoughts?
So nobody likes to be shut down completely and taken out of the game.
Yeah.
So, whenever we're looking at class balance and we're looking at class mechanics, I really love how Steven is like, we're not going to be doing a 1v1 game here. Mm-hmm. We're going to do group coordination, and, you win as a group, you die as a group, and I like that play style the best. If you have some classes that can lock you down, that may happen, if they're like a CC type build. I I don't think it would be too much on one side or the other. But you may have to take that L in the open world, to fulfill that role for your group. That's really, really important, and you guys will make it up later, or you'll make it up with your group later, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have kind of mixed feelings about this one, because for one, I think kind of as Neru said there, is balancing is going to be kind of a nightmare with stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be kind of cool to have thematic to the class or archetype skills that would kind of do something like that. But it would have to be like one skill for each class or something, like one high risk, high reward, and then a bunch of like staples. Like you could have your weapons master, arms master, I forget what they called it, have an attack where they just go all in on their offense part and they do a super hard swing, and as long as it connects, it's going to do extra damage, but it also exposes you to take extra damage for the really slow recovery after that all-out attack.
I love those.
But that would also depend on, how much hit rating you have, if they're doing hit rating balancing. So then you need to know that you have 100% hit rate on whatever you're attacking, and you're within range, and it connects. And then somebody's going to cover your back for you to get out of there, or that it's going to take them down with that hit.
Skill shots in general across multiple games feel so good when you can pull them off. When I played Halo, LAN parties and stuff, and I had this combo with dual pistols, and they would just shotgun off, and if you followed up and you hit the melee right after, you would one-shot somebody. And if you were good at using the radar like I was, you start racking up the numbers. And so that skill-based gameplay feels really, really good when you can pull it off. Love it.
Yeah, and some of the people in the comments had mentioned something like it would be cool to see blood magic that uses a bit of your party's health pool to summon like a demon for a short time, or something like that, which, I mean, obviously sparked its own conversation of would that be useful for end game content, because then you might be randomly pulling health from your party. How it might be used for griefing and things like that. So, like, while these are cool and interesting things, I feel like it's one of those, it really depends. I mean, if you're a group that is pretty much into if you're one of those people that are into playing on Discord all the time, like our group is, it's probably not going to be a problem, because like when I pop Lust, it's because the raid leader says to pop Lust. And for like Ulduar, for Classic at least, we have to wait until our mana pool as healers are at least like 50%. So that way we have enough mana to burn through like the last little bit of phase before hitting Lust. So something similar, but like with blood magic, right? So if we're all in a raid together, and then, we've just had one of the healers top off everybody's health, then we know we can use whatever powerful blood pact thing that would be. It'd be like a situational thing. But otherwise, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to pull from your own HP to do blood magic versus so much of the party. And the one that you pull from the party would be like a huge cooldown, like a 3 or 5 minute cooldown. Because it's like super situational and it's got such a big impact, But I don't know. I think high risk, high reward spells are probably, in my mind, an easier fit for single player games, because those are easier to balance.
For sure. Yeah. I would love to see that mechanic you just described for the group, like bloodletting, like definitely go through, because we would definitely see some more like 50 DKP minus videos about, all right, who took my blood again? What are you doing?
My HP, it's going away. What's happening? I'm not getting attacked.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of, to call back to World of Warcraft, Oculus, the dragon fight at the end,
I didn't
where
get to
the
play
healing
Oculus.
dragon
that
has
one.
to. Yeah. The healing dragon actually has to cast a debuff on the enemy that drains its power and does damage, and heals the caster. But then they use their own health also to blast it back out to the party to heal individual people. So it's like a constant channeling of health. And it down tunes, like you could do say 1,000 damage, but it's going to heal you for 100 health. And then when you blast it out to someone else, it's going to take 100 health but heal them for 500. So it's like a decreased amount, like there's a transfer process, but you being you, well, I guess it would heal you for, like, instead of the 1,000 damage to the enemy, and I think it was probably like 200 health to you, and then you output 100 to heal them for 500 or something. Because in the end, you could, if you keep your debuff up and you do it right, you would heal yourself and everybody else.
Skill-based gameplay is fun.
Yeah, that I think for like a necromancer would be a great style of gameplay, tossing out some dots and the creatures going to munch health from everything.
That was what I was thinking, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Just, I don't know, it sounds fun. I get excited chatting about this, but then, you know, I feel bad a little bit because Ashes isn't out yet, so I can't try it. I'm like, oh, this sounds so cool. I want to try that. Oh wait, I can't. Not yet.
I feel like me, not so much. I feel like the Ashes community is definitely the ones to blame here. You know, so I'm gonna have to separate myself a little bit here, because, you know, as I was doing some searches on Ashes the other day, Cora decides that I need a support animal. You know, so I got the title of what I'm searching for. Cora's like, hey, you need a support animal, and then here's my contact. I'm like, no, Cora, you got it all wrong. It's not me. It's the Ashes support community. Because I specifically remember when I was letting my wife know that she's not furry enough to be a support animal, I was standing nowhere near Alexa. Okay. I think you guys are making Cora, you know, upset over here. It thinks I need a support animal now.
Everything is listening.
It's true.
Everything's listening. So one of you made a joke, but this is actually one of the things that I pulled off of the forums, which is Green's unable to be CC'd. And one of you said that you wanted to paint your caravan green so it couldn't be CC'd. But yeah, what do you think about this? Chicago says, I'd like to see what everyone's opinions are on the topic, as this is a forum for feedback. Here's mine. I understand there needs to be a measurement in place to prevent constant ganking. However, the corruption system is already extremely heavy as it is. I think making it so greens can't be CC'd is not a good idea at all. Preventing you from using your toolkit and abilities makes no sense at all, and even further, how would this tie into any lore whatsoever? It's an open world sandbox style game, so things like this should not be prevented. Obviously, I may be biased as I am planning on doing a lot of PvP, but this is just my opinion and I would like to hear yours. And before anybody else jumps in, Diggs was like the first one to respond and say Ashes is a theme box, not a sandbox, just for that clarification. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
So I believe strongly that if you make a bland game, you're going to bore people and they will quit on you. Mm-hmm. And if there's no risk at all, like, you can gather up so many resources before, and yeah, sure, there's this side of it where, okay, I'm winning, you know, because I have a ton of resources. But if there's no fear in going out in the wilderness, I feel like there should be that element there, of course, with balance. The other side of it is, if it's too punishing and people have to go out in groups just to gather some flowers, they're going to be pretty ticked off about that too. Yeah. So, you know, obviously I was surprised to see him coming from a PvP perspective. It's like the nicest PvP guy I've ever met. But yeah, you know, like, you gotta, Steven stands firmly behind this. He's like, the oceans are going to be hardcore PvP. Like that's gonna be the hardcore zone. I know a lot of you guys don't like the hardcore PvP, so the rest of the world is gonna be the corruption system. And I think it's a wonderful balance that people are gonna like once it gets fine-tuned.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of caught on the CC'd or greens can't be CC'd thing, but I think I lean in the direction of I think that should remain a thing. And the reason why I say that is, for one, the thing that keeps a lot of games afloat, no matter what anybody wants to admit, are casual players. That's what keeps a lot of games afloat with monetary income. And there's going to be some casuals that just don't. They want to get on. They want to do their farming, whatever, and they want to go about their day, and they don't want to get jumped by somebody. They're not ready to be jumped by somebody. They're not prepared or good enough to fend somebody off. So the one defense you can give them is not being able to be CC'd. Now,
Vertex, just set the alarm and do that farming at 2 a.m.
Yeah, right?
No big deal.
Especially if you're on an East Coast server.
Yeah. Oh, me, I'm okay with it myself. Like, go ahead and try to jump me. For one, like, I'm decent to PvP. I'm not amazing, but I'm decent. And for two, it adds some excitement to the game, to be honest. I'm probably falling asleep out there gathering herbs anyway, because it's mind-numbingly dull. But the other side of it is kind of what Ashes of Nera just said, is the aggressor always has the upper hand because they are looking for a fight. They're prepared for a fight. They have their +10 dagger with +3 poison, like, dipped all and ready to go. Like, they have their pre-pot ready before you even see they're coming, and they're in their combat gear ready to do murder. And here you are with your little smock on because you're out in the dirt farming.
Dang. You're right. That +2 gathering speed's not going to help you much in that battle. And then you're getting CC'd on top of it. Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to see the complaint there.
So that's where the most of the greens are going to come in, with like that CC immunity really being a help.
Yes. I wanted to quickly jump off before that gets off topic too much, because that's the direction I was going to go, and I wanted to talk about Nair. Nair says, also the aggressor always has the upper hand by being the one choosing when to attack, so no CCs evens the playing field a bit. And before that, he said, I think it's necessary, otherwise people will just abuse CC to get other people killed by mobs, circumventing the system, which both of those are very valid. And Nick R. on the forum said it's about PvP balance. The first attacker has advantage of first strike, so the defender now has the advantage of a CC counter. And Reds can just go F themselves. But
that's a very large consensus across the caravan scene. One guy said, there is a fighting spirit, though. He said, I don't think something as integral as caravans will ever be stopped. Moving resources around is going to be too important to give up completely. I bet people will just choose to beef up guards before giving up.
Yeah, and actually, Mr. Apple, I don't know if it'll be 5 more years. I really don't think so. Maybe a year or so after Alpha 2 is started, whenever that's starting, because they haven't given us that information yet. But I don't think it'll be 5, unless something drastic
Apple,
happens.
You're the reason why Quora is telling me I need an emotional support animal.
Oh my gosh!
It thinks I'm impatient.
Are you just going to be blaming everybody for your emotional support? Yeah, 2, maybe 3. I don't know. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, because that was, just kind of like it comes and goes topic with the greens and CCing them. At the end of the day, I think that, you shouldn't be able to CC a green, but if that green wants to turn around and fight, I feel like that should be fair enough, fair game at that point, because it's that person's choice to attack back, and then then it's really game on, because then they've turned purple. But otherwise, I should have the freedom to walk away from you while you attack me and not retaliate, therefore not turning purple. But the next thing that I wanted to chat about was Unreal Engine. And we've seen some really interesting things lately in Unreal Engine, both on the forums and on Reddit. And this one is actually a video that somebody cross-posted from the, I think, in Innovations, r/Innovations. And without having to play the video, it's essentially this lady goes up to this phone that's already set up, and she records a small little bit of the video, and they send it over to their animator, who's right there. Oh my gosh, hi Cat! Is that a tuxedo cat?
Whenever I was locking out the little
Cat.
ones from the room, I inadvertently locked in this little buddy. And now he just finally woke up. He's like, oh, what happened? I'm locked in. Let him out.
Okay. But yeah, she basically records this short video, and then there's an animator guy doing stuff with Unreal right there, and he literally, within a few minutes, makes her into a character. And I just thought that was really cool. And there's a few people that were, commenting on this, and I was wondering, is it something that they should do? I think it's pretty awesome, but I wonder if it would be able to fit within the timeline or the budget for everything. I'd also like to see how it automatically gets generated, because they literally have a person there who is taking care of the animation, changing the video into an animation. And it tracks her face pretty cool, pretty well, almost as well as this does, except for instead of it automatically staying like my VTuber is, it's after the fact. But this kind of lent itself to people wanting to be able to use their own faces for their characters in Ashes of Creation. What are your thoughts?
That would be amazing. I would love to see some implementation like that. It would just add, especially if we got the character creator earlier, so we can play around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And but is it realistic? Probably not, but it's definitely something that I would be full on board for. It might raise up the monthly cost by like $1.35, so maybe everybody would be okay with that. Maybe they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's going to be maybe a little bit more difficult than just having a webcam and letting the software do it for you. So yeah, they would need like an animator on hand to make sure it looks good, or else people are going to be really sad by the fact that their face started out looking gorgeous and pretty, or like a very handsome fellow, and comes out looking like, I don't know, like Frankenstein, or who knows. So I think it would be a tough sell to be able to really do that with the way things are currently. Maybe, I don't know, maybe an expansion in 5 years after they perfect it a lot more and it's fully automated.
Yeah.
That I could maybe see.
Yeah, technology is consistently moving forward. You have to move with it, or you get left behind, and another game is just going to replace you after a while.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where it would be super cool, but even like Ashes and Nero said, I'd make a beautiful rendition of my face and then cover it with a helmet. It's just one of those, it's really neat, but how useful will it be? How easily added in will it be? We are already talking about all these other features that Ashes needs to incorporate first, that they originally had on their timeline for alphas, that they haven't even completely gotten to yet. While 5.1 helped with foliage, and actually I'm going to be bringing up the video for this 5.2 demo, which apparently does more work on foliage and lighting and things like that. It's really neat. I really like this. But while I see these being helpful in terms of upgrading the graphics and making it better and making it easier on them, and this was posted by Nair, by the way, I agree with what Nair says. Nair says I can't decide if upgrading to 5.2 will add or subtract from the development time of Ashes, and I feel the same way with the photorealistic use case of your face as a character. I guess it really does depend on how much procedural world building they want or need to do, and then later tweak. But I like this video is really awesome. But it's just how much more of these super awesome things are going to keep slowly pushing back the timeline, you know? Is it worth it pushing back the timeline? Or is it worth maybe getting a rendition out for testing with a second version of it slowly working in the updates and the upgrades to the graphics? And my final question is, how would this affect the end user's rig? You know, we're already talking about a high fidelity game. Will adding more of the stuff cause more of a draw on the resources when you're playing?
Excellent questions. And I actually did a little digging into it, and I really enjoyed what I found. As far as scope creep and is it worth it, I believe it's a necessity. It's a transition, like, you know, there was the transition over into Unreal Engine 5. You know, things had to be recoded, rewritten. But it's also the time that we're in. If we were waiting on any other game, there's a really solid possibility that we would be going through the same things anyways.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it stinks that we have to wait a little bit longer, or maybe a lot longer, but at the same time, we're going to be way happier in the end.
Right.
Whenever I was looking into the kind of like the depth of what was going to be brought, and, you know, I was looking at the same videos you were, just seeing how they could manipulate foliage, how it could be implemented, and the improvements, like just how beautiful it was and how it looked. I think it's totally worth it. And to answer your question on, you know, how is it going to affect people's PCs? Well, the really cool part about that I saw from another developer, or pretty much a graphics bro on YouTube, which, you know, he's got a degree in it. I don't have a lot of information in it, so I rely on people like that do have the information. Hopefully on YouTube, it's not a dictionary, it's a YouTube, so hopefully I trust what he's saying. But from his perspective and the testing that he did, he actually found that the LOD versus the dynamic rendering of the upgrade gave his PC 5 frames more on performance. And so awesome. From what I understand with it, which is very little, we had LOD before, which is kind of a lot like Spider-Man. He can do some really cool things, but he's not One Punch Man. One Punch Man comes in, he destroys Spider-Man. We want One Punch Man.
Yeah. I don't know if Vertec will agree with you, though, because he likes Spider-Man.
So he's got to catch Spider-Man first. So he kind of stands there looking silly a lot of the time, so it might not be possible. But no, I think that there's a lot to consider with this. Mm-hmm. So for one, there is, and by the way, all of this is based on the opinions of somebody who doesn't work in the gaming industry, but just on the trying to update and make changes to a project while it's in motion. So you know that down the line they're going to upgrade Unreal Engine. At some point they're going to upgrade, right? Mm-hmm. So would it be easier to do installment updates along the way and change things as you need them, and then the current coding that you're working on or pausing for that moment is going to now be incorporated with the new whatever is different about the way to design it, and then the later on updates are going to take a lot less effort?
I feel like that really depends.
Yeah, and then that's also if more things change in how they're coded rather than how they're interpreted.
Yeah, because what you run into is, from what I was reading from some programmers, is that if the changes are so drastic, you could end up having to just rewrite the whole game, and in that case, you're just going to want to just build a new game.
Yeah, and you guys, both you, SirOwnzington and Nair, are pretty much pointing towards what I was about to say, because as a web developer, I use React, and going from one version of React to another could be as simple as just updating a few things and then it works properly, or it could be as complex as this is completely different how it's being reworked, and there's these things that you can't reference anymore, in all of your code that does reference it, you now have to redo all of that code, and it can be a little bit of a headache. But it also depends, like, is it worth it to answer that question? It depends. It depends on what you get out of it. It depends on how much effort there is. Is that effort worth the end goal and what you get out of it? And I think that's only something that Intrepid can really answer.
If I was making my own game and it was my funds behind the project, I'd be like, heck yeah, we're going to another engine, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is gonna be my retirement game. I'm going in. I'm gonna be happy when I retire.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nice.
So-
Yeah, it does look cool.
It's kind of like Nara said, it's going to be a case-by-case basis. They're going to have to look at what the changes are that they'll have to make, what kind of tools that brings as a benefit, and kind of weigh the two. Like, as an outsider, I absolutely can't even say my opinion without just saying that I know the projects that I run, and if we make changes later in the project, it's disastrous.
Yeah.
We have to redo so much work instead of just making iterative changes along the way.
Yeah.
Even the minor stuff can save a lot of work later on down the line when suddenly there's just this waterfall of I got to change this one small thing which also impacts everything else.
Yeah. This other one that I wanted to talk about, like going into like the random topics. Occasionally we see, and I find it valid and important to include sometimes the negative responses to the game just as equally as the positive. And so this person says, can we just see the facts? Intrepid is stringing us along and has been for a very long time. They have a really small part of the game done, and they're not being honest when it comes to the real progression of the game. And the comments on here are really split, you know? I mean, one person says, I find it funny that people who haven't spent money on the game complain more than those who have spent money on the game. And I think that kind of adds a lot to it, because when you're invested on the game doing well, and you know sometimes your investments may take time to come back. When you're not invested, it's like, I could leave tomorrow and nobody would care because I'm not invested. There could be another game that comes out that's better, in my opinion, and I just buy. But as somebody who put in money and who's backed it, I'm here for it for the long run. I'm being patient with it because I put money into it. Also, I don't see what complaining is going to do for myself. I'm already bored. I'll just go find another game to play, like a cozy Harvest Moon game. I don't know. But another person said, when a game is systems driven, it tends to come together into a holistic product pretty late in development cycle. And I thought that was an important thing to point out. A lot of us here, not game developers, we don't know what it's like to make a game. All I can speak to is what it's like to make a web application, which is nowhere near as complicated as a video game or intense to build. So, I don't know. I absolutely understand where people feel like, Ashes is stringing them along and not really giving updates. And I also completely understand the people that are like, hey, it takes time. We're building it. It's not pre-built.
Yeah.
But
and one of my big things with seeing posts like this is, what information do they have? What information does WoW is the word 090 have? So that gives them the ability to make the claim that Intrepid is stringing us along. They have a really small part of the game done. They're not being honest when it comes to the real progression. How do they know this?
yeah.
Like, how can you prove that this is a fact, and why are you that upset about it? Do you have something that the rest of us don't see? Or are you seeing the same thing? Because what I'm seeing is they're being honest about the things that they don't have done yet. Like, hey, yeah, combat, there's some things that we're still working through, like active blocking and whatnot. Should they have been a lot farther along and at least had a decision made on that? Yeah, they should have. But that's also basing an opinion on, we don't know what conversations they've had behind closed doors and why they haven't made a decision yet.
Yeah.
Maybe there are class mechanics that we don't know about that are going to heavily be impacted by it or heavily impacted blocking. We don't know this because they haven't talked about that. It could be something as simple as they haven't gotten around to it, or they're too slow with it, or whatever. But the way we see them chew through some development hurdles really fast and really strongly, to me suggests that there is something else in the background with some of the things that people think should be done that are causing a big discussion, and so delaying their decision.
I could agree with that.
It is definitely an interesting dynamic that we're in as a community backing Ashes of Creation, because I've personally never been a part of a development that is open and shares what they're doing step by step along the way. And so there's some things that are interesting to me that stand out, how the community can be so full of life and so psyched up in November, and then come around January and, people are starting to get that, that
we don't see anything.
And it's like, where, kind of going back to the same comments before where they're like, oh, we're being strung along. Would they be saying those comments if it was not an open process for people to see the UI development and for people to see the archetype, showcases? Would you be having the same bleak outlook if you didn't know what was going on? And that's the strange dynamic that we're in, is like, maybe as individuals, I'm hyping myself up that the next stream's definitely going to be the Alpha 2. It's a new year. That definitely means Alpha 2 is going to be dropping first quarter, because that's just how I think, and maybe some other people think like I do. And I have to, but at the same time, going back to my post on Reddit, the mass majority base amount of Reddit users where I'm like, hey guys, what are you going to do? Are you on this side or that side? And they're like, the number one comment was, we just don't have enough information. We got to wait and see how it plays out. Game's still being built.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes to a lot of the community, is at this point we've got used to waiting. And, there's the loud minority who yell about like things being horrible or bad or whatever. But I mean, as much as I say like things like us going live or like our notifications of like when we post stuff, I've seen like other content creators get downvoted to 0. I'm also seeing those people get downvoted to 0. So it's one of those like interesting things, and there's some that like I've seen pop up in our Discord that I go to check it later and it's been deleted, and all you see is people like heckling the original poster underneath it. But I mean, who knows? It could be for something dumb. Like I think somebody did like something super amazing happened, and then you clicked and they're like, yeah, this is called clickbait. And the person had already deleted their post. But yeah, I mean, the open development is really difficult, and like Ashes and there said, they might have already made some of these decisions, but they just want to check and see what the community thinks, and like if they think that they're on the right track with it. And it could be one of those like they're not quite sure on a certain detail, and us giving feedback might help a lot. Hi, Phosphorix. Actually, you're kind of coming in towards the end of today, but we've still got a little bit left to cover, so you're good. Welcome in. But the next thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to kind of pause before we get into this, just because we are about to have an ad kind of hit the channel, just so that we can keep pre-rolls off. But the next thing I want to talk about is login rewards. Do you like them? Do you not like them? I'm going to set up a poll so that people who can't hear us can at least engage with the poll. And I want to talk about, this is back from Dev Discussions number 26 on what are your thoughts around login rewards. And Steven ended up giving his thoughts and his feedback, and they had a whole poll on it. So I want to chat about that when we get back from the little ad break. But I also need more water, so... do you like login rewards? And this I think would be a great example of, you know, Intrepid having an idea and then the community swaying their outcome, right? So, let me just I'll do a 10-minute poll. There you go. 10-minute poll. And I remember the live stream chat when he said he liked login rewards. People were going nuts. Yeah, I remember that too. But I'll go ahead and I will. Well, actually, we still have about a minute. I'm scared if I click run the 3-minute ad, it'll run like a 6-minute ad. I don't want that. But
always treat these polls that you put up like it's going to be the final answer on development. I'm like, I stop. I really think it through. Like, this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna have to
think
go.
about it. You don't have to have you don't have to rush to answer. It's up there for 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to answer. It'll be there when we come back from the ad break. So think about it. And also it's just more like think about what you like and what you don't like about it, because I kind of want to chat about that too. But I will say
some experience with login rewards.
Yeah, I will say something came up recently with Disney Dreamlight that I kind of want to talk about with the login rewards and why I would say situationally I would be just fine with login rewards. But yeah, I'll talk about that when the ad comes over. It's 15 seconds until the ad, so.
Oh, you're just waiting for it to do its own thing instead of
Yeah, if I run it, it might do a double ad. So a double 3-minute ad. I don't want that.
That's weird that it would do that if you tell it to run an ad versus it just running the ad.
That's how I did it at the beginning of the stream, where it would cut off for like 30 minutes. The ad's running right. The ad is starting right now. It says starting soon, but I don't know.
But yeah, people are going nuts during that live stream for sure.
I missed something with the Cyclops weapons. I didn't realize that there was a staff in there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Is he gonna walk around and like change into a mage or something?
I don't know. They asked about the staff, and I was like, I don't know if I want to touch anybody's bones. It's a little awkward. Because apparently you could pop, like, it was one of their Twitter posts. Apparently it was like one of the things that you could get in. All right, so now the ad is in progress.
Bone saw's ready.
Be right back.
Vertec knows what I'm talking about. Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, what was that you said? I missed it.
I said bone saw's ready.
Oh, Bonesaw. Oh my lord. If you're gonna come up with a cheesy name for a wrestler, that's gonna be it.
Perfect.
Bonesaw.
I'm gonna grind your bones into dust. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but it sounds good.
It was close enough, yeah. Alright, I'm trying to look for the thing. Let's see. There's a cycle. Let's see if I can pull the quote from Steven today that was in Discord. From Steven. Wait, did I go in the right one? Yeah, I'm in the right one.
Okay, cool. We're about like halfway through the ad. I remember the live stream. Yeah, okay. That's where we left off pretty much. For those of you that are subbed, we're obviously not an ad for you guys, so we're just kind of sitting here chatting with you so that nobody misses anything while they're stuck in an ad. But again,
ad dance.
Ideally, ideally, we would like to have, like, I don't know, maybe in the square above us, just have like Ashes of Creation ads going or something instead of covering our full screen. That way we can like share it. Or maybe like us off to the side. You'll see in a future video if you haven't seen it in a past video, but we have new overlays that we'd like to incorporate soon. So, and also I guess to add into like updates if you haven't, if you're not a subscriber, or if you are a subscriber and you don't check the Discord too often, we've been uploading our videos like crazy, and I think we're about to kick it up to like 4 a day instead of 3 a day. So that way we can have the last one, which should be next week's podcast, going out on the day that we intend them to go out. So for subscribers, I think I'm going to have the video upload as unlisted and give you guys a link in the subscribers only chat. I'll have like a YouTube area for that. And then you guys will have access to that for the like week up until the Thursday before. And then it'll go public on that Thursday. And then we'll have our live stream the next day. So
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I just figured give you guys higher quality. I mean, Twitch is only so high quality with the bitrate problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, eventually it'd be nice to be able to record in 4K and have the streams going out in 1080, and then we can have a better quality. A better quality
we need
stuff.
much bigger hard drives for that, though. We need much bigger hard drives. We're already running out of hard drive space.
Yeah, and with everybody back, welcome back. You didn't miss much. We were just sitting here chatting about random stuff, like us getting caught up on our videos. Yeah, a lot of you so far, well, by a lot of you, it looks like 6 of you have voted so far. So we've got 4 for yes, 1 for no, and 1 for I don't really care. So,
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were taking a pause for a moment. Go ahead.
I was mainly taking a pause to breathe.
Who needs that?
Not me. So a long time ago, Backwing Lieutenant Toast was with us in 2021.
Lieutenant Toast.
Ooh, I see Ashes Zanir has typed up a thing. I'm going to read that
I miss
in a second.
you, Toast.
I know, we miss you. For Dev Discussions number 26, they had a poll on what are your thoughts around login rewards. And 54% said no login rewards. 45% said cosmetic only with the coin system is nice. And Steven wanted to say, okay, question, what if every day you got a cosmetic coin and each month there was a unique cosmetic purchasable by 30 coins? You could build up coins over time and the month's cosmetics you want, and buy the cosmetics you want for each month. That way there wasn't as much pressure. And then these are just some like random little snippets from Steven at the time. And then A, gonna do community discussion with this topic. B, I think every month would be cool, but I'm open to community feedback and sentiment on this frequency. And C, I think as long as the reward is more a gift than a pressure or pay to win tactic, that it is cool. And finally, he says, some people have less time to play for certain things and everyone likes to collect things, which is where I'm gonna get into my feedback on this later. A login reward is an opportunity to give casual players who may only play a few hours a week something to work towards in addition to their in-game efforts. But that's just my opinion, and that's why it will be cool to hear everyone's thoughts on it. So, go for it, you two.
I enjoy login rewards. I came from the pay-to-win game Medio. We didn't know it was pay-to-win to begin with. Back in beta, there was no cash shop. After beta at launch, there was no cash shop. And then they started to sneak things in there. Like, oh, here's a little fairy that'll pick stuff up for you. And then it progressed a little bit. They're like, well, here's a little costume that will kind of just, buff your resource gathering a little bit, experience all that stuff.
It starts
and
off
slow. Then they just open the floodgates. They're like, all right, here you go. Here's a maid. You don't even have to go back to town anymore. You just throw all that stuff in there. And here's a little button where you can press just, where you can just expedite, repairing all your gear. And so they just knocked open the floodgates, but it wasn't immediate. And so they had a login reward system as well. And the pay-to-win aspect, I did not like at all. Because I love competition and I love video games. I don't want to take my money and throw it into a game, especially having a family and stuff. I just don't want to put excessive funds onto that side unnecessarily just because I'm a very competitive person and I want to be top tier, There's got to be some balance that way. And with the login rewards, there are a couple of things that I liked about the non-cosmetic login rewards that they were using. They were using rewards that were resources. They were really powerful items. You know, they could give you XP, that kind of thing. So they were really powerful items in BDO's sense, but they also kind of perform some different functions, as in, you know, if new players coming into the game, they see this list of 30 days and they see that, oh, these are probably some of the items that if I come across in the world, I need to pay attention to them. So they do have an educational aspect to new players coming into the game right off the bat. The login rewards weren't that punishing as well. If you miss, you could miss like 3 or 4 days and still get all of them. So they were offset as well, which was nice. And then at the same time, like on the other hand too, I remember one of the streams that Steven was, you know, joking about how there's a large amount of players, I've been one of them, where you get into that launcher and you're just hitting randomize and you're getting whatever you get, and you'll go in, you'll cover it up with a helmet and you'll put a robe on it. You know, whatever you get is what you get. There's a good amount of players that, you know, is a login reward based off of cosmetics going to be enough to have them log in every day, at least just for a few minutes? And so what it comes down to is, for me, I like decent login rewards, because if Steven just simply asks people, you know, hey, you know, if you guys log into the game every day, it's going to help the metrics on the game, and it's going to help the game stand out more, and it's going to draw people to the game. But if you give them a decent reward for logging in for a few minutes, I think that's going to be more beneficial to the game overall, and it's going to reward the player for his time, for helping out the game a little bit to make it stand out a little bit.
Okay.
I think that as long as the login rewards include visiting the Golden Feather Tavern and patronizing there as a prerequisite for the reward, I'm cool with anything.
These guys.
No, but I am legitimately okay, and I looked away, so I missed whatever you did.
I pointed the wrong way because I forgot I'm looking into a mirror.
Yeah.
You are. But yeah, as long as it's not something where someone's going to feel punished, and it does feel like a reward, kind of like you were saying, it's offset. You can miss, like, let's say there's 14 days in a month you could log in and get something, and you don't reset. Like you maintain your progress towards whatever. Or even Wildstar did, where there were like 300 login rewards and you got one every single day that you logged in. And if you took 7 years to get all 300, so be it, if Wildstar only lasted that long. But you never got set backwards. You only went forward. So all you had to do was just keep playing. But I know some people are going to say, well, that just means I still need to log on every day, or I'm never going to get the whatever. I mean, yeah, you got to log in every day, or you're never going to see the entire map too, but you don't see everybody crying about that. Like, if you don't log in all the time, constantly, and you're never going to see the entire map, mainly because the nodes are going to rise and fall, and you're really, literally never going to see that part of the map in that state ever again. Because people didn't like that node or whatever, but there was a really cool thing about it, and you're never going to see that really cool thing because people didn't like that node enough to level it up again.
Until maybe like much further down the line.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 years down the line you might get the chance to, if you remember. So
like a
there's
real
that
WoW
aspect.
Story.
Yeah, so there's that aspect
Red
of Ashes.
Mountains, what's that? I bought my way past that.
Yeah, exactly. The Ashes is going to have a lot of that. Like, if you don't log in constantly, you're going to miss some things. And people are just going to have to accept that. But as long as the login rewards aren't crazy punishing, they're neat, they're cool, they're whatever. I also like the veteran rewards thing.
Yeah, I was about to read mirror stuff.
If you do a veteran rewards based on how long you subbed, then people are going to say, well, that's a pay to win because they're giving out this really cool thing and I have to stay subbed the entire time to get it. So then you got that crying aspect of it, and it's gonna be something it's never going to appease everybody unless you just don't do it.
Yeah.
Man, I had to sell my cat. I had to get the money. Oh, hype.
Thank you, Scoots.
Hello, and
appreciate
thank you.
that. Well, wait, that deserves
Much
one
appreciated.
of these.
I didn't know Scoots had 5 cats to sell. That's
It
awesome.
does. 5 cats.
Thank you. Welcome in, Scoots.
But yeah, I think the login rewards thing is really tricky. It really is.
Yeah.
But I'm personally okay with it as long as it doesn't feel like a chore to do, like a literal every single day. And if you don't log on every day, then you lose the progress you made towards the rewards or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Hey, you're awesome, Scoots. These guys do such a great job. We're, as a community, I'm like the community spokesman right now. I just want to thank you guys for everything that you do. These guys don't like asking for money. Guys, they work so hard. Let's support these guys. Let's see them throw into ashes. You know this channel is going to blow up.
I'm going to hide.
Oh
no,
my God.
Scoots, thank you.
Scoots.
I don't have a hide. Wait, hold on. I can just do I just this. Okay.
There you go.
I'm hiding. Wait, you can still see me. I'm hiding.
hiding. Thank you so much, Scoots. That is super nice and super amazing, and we definitely appreciate it. And thank you for the very kind words there, Ownzington.
Yes.
Also very appreciated.
I just want to hide.
My pleasure. You guys deserve the support. You guys put together a solid program every week. You're here for us. We love you guys.
Oh, SirOwnzington,
Oh my gosh!
you.
And
Cheers.
I don't even know. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when we finally get in game, will y'all be my friend? Of course.
Heck yeah.
We're looking to
be
make as many friends as we can. Hello, over there.
Yeah, we'll be making announcements when we establish ourselves on the server, and I know as soon as we get our actual tavern up and running, we'll probably be having free drinks for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a grand opening month.
I want to go over what Nara said.
Force friendship for the next 30 days.
Force friendship. Oh man.
Yeah, the Golden Feather Tavern is pay to win. Undead. Just saying.
Oh my gosh! Don't tell people that. But yeah, Nara says, to me, it's hard no on login rewards, especially if they are daily. It adds a chore element to the game where you feel punished if you can't log in. It feels cheap and desperate measured. You mainly see in games that are failing. If the game is fun, people will log in and play it. Login rewards are just basic manipulation tactics. It adds negative element to the game unnecessarily, which I have a different opinion on that, but I'll get to that in a second. And then Nara follows up with, instead of login rewards, give us veteran rewards based on subscription time. It's much less toxic or punishing, I think. And obviously, Vertek, you covered your thoughts on that. And then over there said Freehold operation may have some activities that are kind of like login rewards, like farming. Yeah, I think that could be cool. Just playing. Nah, just wanted to support the stream. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying the discussion. My thoughts on it are, imagine a D&D session. Okay, let me read this. This is a big one. Imagine a D&D session. Do you give players XP for simply showing up for 2 minutes to the game session and then going home logging off? Because that's what login rewards are. Something for nothing. It doesn't bring anything positive to the rest of the gaming in-game community, nor would it do anything for the people in the D&D session. People who log in to play anyway don't need rewards in the first place. And I hear what you're saying. I do understand where you're coming from.
I actually have a response directly to that.
Okay, go ahead.
But I just wanted to put that out there so you don't move on afterwards. But no, you were speaking. Go ahead.
So I was just watching a video on Disney Dreamlight last night. They decided that they were going to put in paid cosmetics, kind of like what we already have with Ashes of Creation. However, with the downturn in economy, the purchase of the moonstones for those cosmetics comes out to being about $15 per month, which for a lot of people, they don't really have that extra money to spend. And they would rather see something like a daily login reward, which gives them a reason to log in, especially if you think about like end game content. You know, they've done everything since the games first kind of came out, and they don't really have anything else to do. So at least logging in every day is something that they are interested in, which leads itself more, in my opinion, or lends itself more, in my opinion, to the casual gamers, the ones that are kind of like, I'm here, I'm not here, it's cool, it's whatever, I'll just kind of pop in, I'll grab my login reward or whatever. But then the idea is that that would help you get one of those cool cosmetics that were supposed to be paid with $15 with in-game currency instead. And I think that's kind of what Steven was trying to offer up the idea with the cosmetic coin thing. And she said that the paid cosmetics are typically seen in games where you are free to play, but the pay to play tend to have things like login rewards or other ways of earning those coins. Now, to her point that she made later, and I think this is kind of something that maybe a lot of you would like, is what if through questing, like maybe not dailies, but like a various, I don't know, maybe there could be like a daily quest or whatever, but somehow fit in where like one of your quest rewards per day doing any random quest, you could get like a coin for just participating in the game. It's not technically like a login reward, but you're playing anyway, and it's an additional thank you for playing. Just kind of like added in, kind of like I think World of Warcraft has like the first dungeon or whatever that you go into for the day, you get like an extra goodie bag with a little extra gold in it, kind of like that. You're already playing, it's already something that you want to do, but each day, as long as you do something in the game, you get rewarded with that thing.
Oh yeah, there I agree completely. You said that the daily quest, that's a good way to be like, man, especially if they're repetitive.
Yeah.
Which repetitive, I get that side of it where it's, you get the hang of it, so you can be real efficient with it.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of grinding I don't want to do.
Yeah.
See, and with that one, I also have a direct answer to that too, which is, let's say you're a heavy sweaty gamer, right? You go through and you get all the quests done. Like all the major quests that you want to do are done. Now you want to be able to every once in a while just log in and make some quick money. What do?
Yeah.
You could log in and do a daily, but if dailies don't exist, then you can't just be like, oh, well, I know exactly where to go to get exactly a certain amount of money every single day. If I want to. If I don't want to, then I don't have to do it. It's when they tie it to rep and they gatekeep things based on dailies. Those are the ones that suck. But if it's just dailies that offer money, like every single day, so-and-so needs you to go and catch her cows and milk the cows.
How far will this terrible rabbit hole go? it's like, oh, login rewards. Oh, don't you get me started on dailies. Oh, dailies with rep. Okay. Oh, no, what's next?
But yeah, Scoots, we went up to PI. Yeah.
I mean, whether or not you backed, I think is up to each person, though. You know, if it's something that you felt strongly about that you wanted to be a part of, you know. I've never been burned by a Kickstarter because I'd never done a Kickstarter, but it looked interesting enough that I was like, okay, cool, let's try it. So it was smart for me to have backed, because now at this time of life, I don't have the money to back if I wanted to.
I had to choose between Ashes and Camelot Unchained, and I chose unwisely.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But thankfully, I paid with PayPal, and there was a January stream where he's like, hey, if you guys want refunds, and I was like, copy pasta.
Copy pasta.
Going to Ashes.
Nice.
Oh man. Well, at least we got you here now.
But yeah. But I think it's one of those things, like, just because you don't enjoy it, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like what you log in to play anyway, so it's not really anything that's affecting you. Like you're already there to play, so why not just reward for just logging in, or like, you know, whatever. But if done the way that Vertec mentioned, which is not like you logged in for 3 days and then you took a day off and you've missed this day and you'll never get it back. Like, instead of doing it like that, it's just more like the number of days that you have logged in total versus like in a row, and then you lose like whatever progress, which I've seen some games do, and that feels bad too, because it's like, my 10-day streak is just gone.
Got 29 of them, but I missed that last one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was the good one too.
But
or you know what would even be kind of cool is what if they had like 75 days in a year, or some other random number that makes sense to like Ash's lore or something, like a certain number that's like a quarter of the year, like 100 days in the year, you can get a login reward just for popping in.
That could work.
Like 2 days a week.
Yeah, the Kickstarter ended in 2017. It ended, the official Kickstarter ended in like May or June, and then the summer Kickstarter, aka the people for EU being able to back it, ran for the summer. It was a summer Kickstarter.
I think they were talking about Star Citizen Kickstarters and such.
Oh well, actually, he asked who else was of it, and Wizzy says I didn't back until August of 2020, because that was in direct response to who's the OG Kickstarters for Ashes.
Oh, okay, because there was some conversation closer to the bottom.
I followed it.
Okay.
I followed it. I understood what was going on in chat. But yeah, it's just one of those. I think it's just one of those things where, like you said, no, not everybody is going to be happy. There's no way to make 100% everybody happy. There's always going to be somebody upset about something, and at some point they're going to have to stop trying to make everybody happy, because it's just not going to happen. It really isn't. And I'm not trying to sound harsh when I say that. It's just it is a harsh reality. It is something that everybody has to end up getting to a point and understanding at some point in their life. Because when you're growing up and you want people to like you, and like that first person doesn't like you, like a kid getting so crushed over somebody not liking them is just kind of hard, because they've never dealt with, as long as I'm happy, I agree with you.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was laughing at right there. Exactly.
But, it's just one of those things, like it's hard to deal with the fact that somebody doesn't like you, or like what you've said, or like your idea, and it can be a little bit difficult to deal with that. But at the end of the day, like, they have to do what's best for them and for the majority of the player base, whoever their niche player base is. And I will say niche, because for a game that's not going to be having PvP server versus PvE server, it's absolutely niche.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like anything that's ever come up for debate on it might go this way or it might go that way with Ashes, I don't think any of them would truly upset me if it didn't go the way I liked.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, I like this type of play and I like that type of play, and I'd prefer if it did this, but if it doesn't, I'll survive.
Yeah. SirOwnzington, you looked like you're about to say something.
Yeah, I was saying, I think Steven's Twitter training has hardened his shell. His favorite archetype is going to be tank from Mage from now on.
I like
I'm gonna make a choice. I'm gonna lead. You guys are gonna like it.
Yeah, exactly, Nair. And those are all things that I don't like about Ashes. Scoots!
Scoot!
Thank you.
Again! Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
Finally fired up my new PC last night and had error codes. Oh no, spent all day stressing out about it. Came home, removed the DIMM of RAM, and successfully posted. Nice.
Nice troubleshooting, Wizzy. When I bought the motherboard for this one, I got a Ryzen 9, and I did my research on it and everything. The motherboard said it was compatible with it, and it ended up being compatible only after you send it back to the manufacturer for a BIOS update. Man, that's 2 weeks I'll never get back. I had to mail it out to California. I live in Florida. That's a long way.
Yeah. Oof.
And then done that.
I'm not sure exactly how technical you are with building computers there, Wizzy, but definitely make sure that you check the manual for the motherboard, because some of them put the sticks right next to each other and some of them you have to space them out. And it will completely give you nothing but error codes and do weird stuff if you don't follow exactly how they want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Computer problems can be tricky. My youngest, which is obviously my oldest PC, 'cause she just plays Minecraft and Roblox and stuff, her PC was crashing just over and over on Roblox browser games. So it wasn't anything too crazy, right? It wasn't like I played Black Desert. I had to upgrade my power supply because these little black voids were like causing my PC to crash. But hers ended up being the graphics card was going bad. I thought it was the hard drive at first, but you know, these things can break in strange ways.
It's true. Some silly things. Silly things.
Yeah. Oh man, computer problems are the worst though.
Yeah.
True. This is our relaxation time. When it causes you more work, it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Feels
like
so
that.
bad.
But
To put
overthrow.
it out in vocal real quick, what'd you do there, Scoots? What'd you do a few weeks ago? What were you gonna say about overthrow?
I like how two of us asked him what he did. Oh, nice. That's awesome. So, Overthrow says, I've always been pleased by Intrepid's forethought when they do finalize the decision, so I trust them by now to do not do anything foolish. And I think with the fact that, you know, this was back in 2021 that they ran this poll, and we haven't really heard anything about, you know, login reward. Sorry about the cat. We haven't heard anything about login rewards since then. I think it's safe to say that, you know, they kind of followed the community's thoughts on it. But I don't know. I was just kind of curious why people are so against it. I kind of personally like it because at the very least, like, I am that type of person where I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just log in for whatever reward and just log out. Like, I'll do that. Like, for just when I'm feeling at least a little bit bummed on, like, playing right now. Like, maybe I've been spending so much time that for whatever reason I feel burnout or like I just overwhelmed with everything that like I just don't feel like logging on and doing something where I have to be like on the whole time, you know? It's just
It's super impactful for a game that's just starting out, you know, because like you logged in for just a small amount of time, but when the haters get on, you know, their videos and they're like, oh, look what Ashes is doing, look how the drop off and logins happen, you know, like those are things that can, you know, just shine a shaded light on the Ashes start, and you know, logging in, if the login reward can mitigate some of that, you know, shade, hey, let's do it.
Nara, to answer your question, it certainly doesn't make me not want to do it. Sometimes I log in and then something catches my eye, or like I have that one quest where I'm like, yeah, I'll do that one thing, and then I end up actually playing for a little bit. So yeah, sometimes. But in the moments where I'm just overwhelmed by everything, not having a reason to log in, like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't have logged in if there wasn't like a daily reward. I would have just been like, F it, just leave it over there, you know?
Yeah, and by the same token, I've played games that had them where it felt really good to get those login rewards just because of what they were. But at the same time, if I didn't log in, I didn't feel like I was missing out on, oh my gosh, I'm gonna whatever.
Yeah.
No, just it's
like,
whatever.
Yeah, like,
literally, it felt like a reward. It didn't feel like a task
like
I
some of the
needed to do or
rewards
I'd fall
so
behind.
good that you're like, no man, I gotta call in sick to work because like the schedule's a little weird this week and I'm not gonna be able to log in. I gotta sorry boss.
Yeah, like super convenience items, like I don't know. I don't know what it would be. Maybe like a free taxi trip in Ashes. Like you get a ticket for a free taxi trip, so it's not going to cost you a gold to go between cities automated. Just for logging in for a day. Cool, that's really nifty.
Yeah.
But it's not going to break the bank if I don't get that, you know?
Yeah, and it's one of those like, in the idea of let's go with my idea earlier, or rather kind of like Steven's idea of like your login reward is a coin to get a cosmetic piece later. That's absolutely worth logging in for me, just because that's what I'm driven by. I like cosmetics. I like the way that I can adjust the way I look. I like that. It's not pay to win. It's just a cosmetic. And some people are just like, I don't freaking care about that. That's fine. You don't have to log in for that. But I probably will.
Like how neat would it be?
Good is inefficient.
How neat would it be if it...
It says looking good is inefficient.
Yeah.
You kidding? That means I've won the game. I don't care what I've accomplished. I look good. But yeah, how neat would it be if you could collect up to 10 coins a month and the cosmetics took a year to expire and leave the shop? For
I
that
would love
specific,
that, actually. Instead of
those
this like
token
FOMO
redeems.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So for those token redeems, they hung out for like a year before they left the shop. So you had a year to collect like, let's say 30 coins.
yeah. And you like, it stayed in the I would say it should stay in the shop from 1 year from when it first got in the shop. So if it got in January, it should exit in December, and the new one should come in January.
Yeah, so something like that to me would feel good, but not punishing.
Yeah.
Not like so strong it's punishing.
I don't really like the FOMO thing. It's not fun for me. Like, I love the bag that they have for their current cosmetic set because I'm an herbalist, right? I like doing herbalism and alchemy. That's my thing as a druid and like my D&D characters. But it's one of those things where if I miss that, like if I didn't have the money to get it this month, and yes, I got it this month, judge me as you will. But if I didn't get it this month, I'd feel sad later because, oh man, I missed that. Like, I know Vertec, you know, Fart's funny. Okay, not that kind of herbalist. but yeah, I think it's one of those things where, you know, he missed out on a really cool, very paladin-y, tanky set that he thought was really cool. Like, kind of stood for what he would like to be for a
Paladin
tank.
sets overall look pretty freaking awesome.
Right?
And I'm not even a paladin player, but I'm like always impressed.
Yeah, and so like to miss that, it sucks. It sucks to feel like I missed out on that. But like being able to have a wider window where something in the game, I don't care if it's a login reward, I don't care if it's your first quest that you do. Like I said daily, but I was just meaning like a daily reward for just playing the game. Just like the first thing that you can do when you play WoW is sign up for whatever raid and get like the goodie bag or whatever. But like, what if that was just baked into like, as long as you do any quest whatsoever, you get this extra coin. It's not a daily that you have to go out of your way to go find. It's not some pop-up that's gonna bother you on your screen. And also it's that whatever is in the cosmetic shop isn't going away anytime soon. So there's not that rush to like, oh my God, I gotta go get this thing every single day. Otherwise I'm not gonna get this thing. Like,
There's login reward could be disabling login rewards.
There you go. But I get that. I do get like where you're coming from, but
I am but a gamer dad on a quest to raise a gamer family and win through any means possible. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, right over there, right? I'm totally afraid that Steven will want to keep doing the most cosmetic and gone forever after release. Yeah, the monthly cosmetic, yeah. I mean, I get why there is a monthly cosmetic, but it sucks that it's a monthly cosmetic. Especially when I think I super dialed back. I mean, I haven't bought a cosmetic in a very long time, which is why I don't really care if anybody judges me, because I've only bought maybe 5 or 6 cosmetics since 2017. How many have there been that's been released? You know, but it's one of those things where knowing how many has been released and there's that many that will never come up again, it's like
Oh, what game
Yeah.
had hourly or hourly rewards? There was a game
BDO?
like that.
I don't know.
I think it was BDO. Yeah, you're right. Man, see, I'm even blocking out some of that stuff. I played that game so much too.
But yeah, I think, I mean, Ashes has decided to not, I think, go with it because a lot of the people said no. And I think that's an important thing to listen to, right? No matter how much I just don't care one way or the other. It's not going to bother me if it's in there. And World of Warcraft doesn't have a daily login, so it doesn't bother me that it's not in there.
I'm completely just logical about it. If it helps the game, and people log in when they normally wouldn't just for a little bit, and they get a little bit out of it too, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Just like Vertex said, as long as it's not game breaking or just like too much.
Yeah.
Where is that balance? It's tough to find sometimes.
Yeah, and it's especially with such a diverse community like Ashes has. Ashes pulls people from lots of different aspects of life, of gaming life especially. But I think we have a little bit of a drum roll in case you guys already saw it. You totally already know, but Steven kind of made a big announcement in the Discord. Let's hope it comes to fruition. For those that don't know, Richie SH asked, "Hey, is Cyclops still coming soon?" And Steven said, "If Mage is not next month, it will be Cyclops. And if Mage is next month, then the Cyclops will be in May." So, those of you that have been like, "Where's the Mage? I want the Mage." There you go. Mage is coming in the next 2 months.
Big.
And I kind of hope it's next month because I'm sorry, Steven and Intrepid, I'd rather miss the Cyclops than the Mage.
We have to get the answer to the Cyclops staff. What is it used for?
What is it used for?
Does he know Expelliarmus? Does he know how to pronounce Leviosa?
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Leviosa.
And by the way, folks, you can thank Bochi next time you see him. He actually let us know that existed and then had to hunt it down to share with everybody else.
Yeah, so there you go. I thought that was pretty big. We've seen a few of the other, classes, but I'd really rather see a mage next month so that I can move in peace, knowing I'm not missing out on mages.
Yeah,
because that's literally the weekend we're moving.
True. Sunny Florida.
Do they count the fighter as having been showcased, you think, or does it still need official showcase? I think they showcased some of the fighter stuff.
Yeah, basic melee attacks. So.
Yeah. I mean, we've been around since 2017, so.
Oh, and Scoots, that was forever ago. Like, is there going to be a wand? Is there going to be a wand?
Yeah, no, for those of you that don't know, I met this guy over here. I met him in the Ashes of Creation Discord, and he is now my partner, and we were pretty in the Discord for the longest time until things just kind of got really crazy in the Discord, and people were just being very, like, toxic for no reason, and then we were kind of like, I don't really want to hang out in the Ashes Discord anymore.
It's gotten better, I think, but I just haven't got myself back in there.
Yeah.
But we lived in the Discord. We were in there. I mean, if we were awake for 18 hours a day, then 9 of them were in that Discord.
Yep.
And I spent a couple of my other hours in the forums. I kind of lived in there for a while.
Oh, speaking of Discord,
Yes.
I went back. I went back to my Windows settings and still like and I even looked up stuff on YouTube and whatnot. Like my notifications, like they just don't work as well as they do on your Discord.
Oh.
Having my phone to just locked into the Discord and just having everything kind of flow through your Discord is like amazing. Thank you, Chibi.
Thank you. Oh, my pleasure. I wanted to make it easy for like not only us but other people, because there's so many things I'm like, oh my gosh, people have posted and like what if I miss something, and it just
you funnel so much information on everything Ashes right through the Discord. Like it's so nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and she did a little bit of that coding herself on a couple of those things. I think there was only the one like connected up and let it go bot, and the other one you were spending some time like I gotta get this right. You were tearing apart their website to get the hooks to connect up yourself. It was great.
I made my own API essentially through their like I went through the forums and I figured out they had an RSS feed, and then I figured out how to get access to the RSS feed and host it somewhere to make it into an API, and then I used that information to grab the I'm talking tech. I'm sorry. I figured out a way to make it automatically show up. That's the important part.
I can tell you how the physical layer interacts with the Mac layer, but I didn't understand most of what you just said there.
I know. I kind of saw that, and then I felt like self-conscious. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I made it automated nicely.
It was smooth.
I have another thing that is kind of, they post there less often, so I'm kind of monitoring it to see how well it works, but yeah. Don't crush my dream. Oh, yeah. I mean, Vertec can certainly tell you it was interesting getting to know me at first.
It was. She had a personality.
I did. Yeah.
Definitely had a personality.
But I also had a very complicated background that went with that personality. So he's taught me much, you know. But yeah, I think that's wanna grab the image and share Undead Pally's?
What? Undead Pally's what?
Remember? He did that art.
What? No way.
Please tell me you're playing with me right now. Here's the bigger version.
I have no idea. What are we talking about?
So it's the person that already has it up there. Yes, Nair Wizzy, I have no personality now. This is absolutely gone. I lost it. No more personality.
It has poofed.
Bye, Chibi.
I'm just a neutral person at this point. I don't know.
Just a neutral
replaced with
person.
AI. She looked too deep into the algorithm that copies her face.
Chibi.exe. Feels bad. Undead, I'm gonna make you self-conscious in multiple ways. I'm sorry. We love your art.
We do.
And we especially love that you were so sweet to like make us our own art. Like fun fact, Pally is so sweet, and the art that we got from Pally, I actually reached out before Pally like had made it, and I asked Pally if I could commission him so that I could have some art of Vertec and that's when Pally was like, yeah, so I'm actually already I was already planning something, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, for serious.
Yeah. We need to con Steven to doing an AMA here. Let's do it. Well, actually, we've had Steven on here before.
Yeah, we had Steven on once.
We actually, that's a perfect segue into like kind of the wrap up section. Is we are working super hard. Yeah, we've had Steven on, I think, back on like our 10th episode. I'll post it in the Discord.
Back. Yeah,
I feel super embarrassed.
We had Toast and I think even Maggie in 2020.
Yep. Yep. I feel really embarrassed because our setup was not nearly as nice. Like, you hear a lot of echoing, and then my dad comes in the background, and it's super awkward because my dad doesn't know streaming etiquette stuff. I love you, Dad, but
your dad's not as cute as a cat, huh?
No. I don't know Test IRL.
But no.
So on that point, though.
Get off that computer, Chibi. What did I tell you?
he just like stuck his face in, like tilted it kind of, and just waved at everybody and then walked off.
But we haven't been able to get schedules to work with how much they've been pushing out and kind of putting in all this time in getting some game ready. You may have heard of the game, I don't know, but they've been putting so much effort into that schedules haven't worked out. But we're hoping to get something soon. We just gotta wait and see.
Well, what I was trying to get to was at the same time, while that's happening, we are also trying to get caught up on all of our old videos. But I am pleased to say, let me just pull up the official newest date that we have ready to go. On our YouTube, we are officially uploading things from last year. I think the one that went live today was with obviously Grim, and that was recorded let's see, that was recorded on
June
April
April
April 29th 2022, and the last one we have scheduled to go out is in July 29th 2022. That's how far we've gotten ahead of everything. We currently have episode 132, which is the July one, planned for March 28th. And we're that's because no. I knew. I had it in front of me. I literally had it in front of me.
See, I got mixed up. See, I've been staying up till like stupid hours editing these things, and last night I know I finished up until July, or up through the end of July, actually. I think the last one in July last year was the last one I did.
Yeah, you have the July 29th one. That's what I just said.
So yeah, it's all blending together for me. So I took a stab in the dark of June, and no, not there yet.
So off, yeah. Thank you. It's mainly him. It's really mainly him, because as soon as we get off, I guarantee you he'll probably be up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning doing more. And last night he pushed out 6 alone, and these are full hour podcasts. This one's going like 2 hours, but full length podcast that he's. Just sit down. No.
I need a lawn chair to lay out on.
He does. What he needs is a rest. And he's pushing hard on some other things, and then I'm also prepping for us to move. So like the rest doesn't seem to be in sight until after we move for both of us.
That's all right. It's all right. Later this year, in June, we'll be moved down. We'll be in Florida. Be able to chill out.
I need some tacos on the beach.
Enjoy it for like a month before we start busting our tail again.
Yeah.
Oh, Scoots.
Scoots thank
again.
You. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Scoots. You are so very appreciated for this.
Yes. Cheers.
Scoots the best the stream can get.
But I would like to say right now, with what I have calculated and what we're trying to push for, we will be up to date by April 4th. Technically. And then we will begin doing our normal release of videos. So we're hoping to get it just kind of knocked out of the park, because we've been saying for multiple years at this point, hey, we moved, we got behind, we're gonna get caught up, and then we never get caught up. So this is just us getting it out of the way, so we can only do 1 per week instead of like 3,000 per week for Vertag.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we set ourselves a deadline so that we'd definitely be done and have plenty of time for moving, and not have to wait until we move again and then go, oh, we got behind again.
Yeah, exactly. And
you guys are doing it right. Moving is one of those things you can't finish in one day. I'm like a completionist, so
yeah,
I do not like moving.
No. But yeah, indeed. Cheers. I love that you guys have the moving cheers one. Let me know if you guys have any other thoughts for a different emote that we could add in, because eventually I would like us to be able to get to partner, because I think unless they took it away, don't you get more of the sub income from that instead of 50%? I think it's more like...
No, they changed it. Now it's still the same. It's still half of whatever the sub costs.
Okay. But we do get a lot more emote slots and things like that.
Get a lot more stuff that you guys can play with.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think...
And consider having your home sub over on the Discord. Helps them out, what, twice as much?
Yes, we actually get 90% instead of 50% on the Discord subs. And you can use the emotes there across all of Discord. So, yeah, we don't have any... we don't really have many people around us to help. It's just the two of us. So
you're awesome, Scoots.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for stopping by, and thank you for giving up those subs. As always, like, no pressure for that. The greatest support you can give is just stopping by and hanging out with us. So.
Absolutely, and we are always looking for guests to come on. So if you ever want to join us and chat Ashes, we'd love to have a new face, just like SirOwnzington. Can't finally convince SirOwnzington to come on.
I was like, no way, I'm not. And I was like, oh well, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Let's do it.
Did you have fun?
I had a blast. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I love this.
Thanks for coming on with us. And we actually went twice as long as we normally went, because it's already almost 9.
Hey, it's flying.
Oh wow, yeah, time did fly by, didn't it? Holy cow.
Yeah, it did. We actually have another ad trying to start in 6 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and snooze it and push it back.
Yeah, we should be able to wrap up by then, I think. Now should be a good time to start doing the wrap-ups.
I think so.
Well, SirOwnzington, do you have anything you would like to share with the class here? Any last words? I know we want to put your social medias out there. Those are super important.
Yeah, voting is important in Ashes, and so the best, props you can give me, vote me into mayor. I'll make it worth your while. Let's go. Yeah, Ashes, it's going to be one of those things, I feel like there's a lot of circumstantial things that, have gone on with development that may have, made it drawn out more than, other games that we're used to. Maybe, having the spotlight straight in there maybe isn't a great idea 100% for some personalities who aren't being super patient about it. But when I look at the community and I see how based everybody is and the mass majority of the community, how based they are and waiting for this amazing product, like, I'm still like really super hyped about it. No pay to win. It's gonna be something that is really worth the wait. Loving it.
Yeah. My takeaway is that people are kind of hit or miss on certain conversation topics. They like to either indulge in your whatever topic you want to chat about, and others are just like, nah, we don't know enough for that.
Just no.
I found that to be kind of similar when I was trying to do my own topic, and some people indulged me, and other people are just like, why, Chibi? Why?
Hey, everybody's got an opinion, so
yeah,
you can't take my opinion away.
Nope.
It's true. Yeah, as always.
Hey, props to you for pointing out the opinions who are just voicing it out there. We don't know if there's negative, not negative feedback, but we don't know if there's an area of improvement unless we hear about it.
Right.
True.
Absolutely.
It's true. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you don't squeak, no grease for you. But as always, thank you everybody for stopping by, spending your time here. Time is something we cannot refund, and we would not if we could, because it's ours now. But we love you all, and thank you so much for stopping by and joining in the conversation. It's greatly appreciated.
And it's Friday, which means if you've been wanting to play Diablo 4, It's, I believe, open for free to play for beta. And Tech Deck 22, who we're gonna raid over to, is somebody who is playing currently Diablo 4. Yeah.
Diablo 4.
So.
Alrighty, folks. Well, until we see you next week, take care. Well, actually, tomorrow maybe. No, wait. Are we doing anything tomorrow? No, we're not.
I was thinking about doing a little coffee quest in the morning.
Ooh, maybe see that. Okay, raid's in. Yeah, raid's going.
Yeah. This is why you can't hesitate.
I got myself sidetracked. It's like, wait, were we doing something? Like my brain just completely snapped.
Yep.
That was so much fun.
Thank you for joining us.